Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with me, your host. My name is Chad Medved. This is my show. Appreciate you being here as usual. Just wanted to say thank you to every single soul that bought one of the hats that I made. I made some beanies, the I'll Call You Right Back Flavors beanies. I called them the Flavors beanies because there's all different colors, but I sold probably 30 some hats already. And I couldn't believe it, honestly. I only got a few made at first, and then everyone bought them, and I just can't thank yous enough. I do have a little handful left, limited colors. If you're interested, please get in touch with me. I'll call you right back at gmail.com. I'll call you right back on Instagram. I'll call you right back across the board. You know it. But if you appreciate me and what I do with the podcast, I beg of you, please take a second out of your day, leave me a rating and a review, and subscribe to the show. If you're listening on Spotify, you have an option to leave me a rating. If you would like to do that, 5 stars, greatly appreciated. If you're listening to Apple Podcasts right now, you could scroll down. You have an option to give me a 5-star review and leave me a couple of kind words. And if you enjoy what I do, take a couple seconds out of your day, leave me a little rating and review. It goes a long way for the little guys like me. That's how I grow the podcast. Tell your friends about it, share it on social media, spread the word. The podcast is gaining traction. I'm very thankful for it. I'm very appreciative of people that enjoy listening to me talk to all the good people that's doing things in our city. People of Pittsburgh really are passionate about the dope things that are going on in the city. And I'm just, I'm passionate about it. I get a real satisfaction by finding cool people to talk to and kind of just figuring out what makes them tick. And the people of Pittsburgh love it. We love nostalgia. We love heart. We love soul. And what is a better way to encompass that than the Pittsburgh Personified Instagram page? What is Pittsburgh Personified, do you ask? If you are living under a rock and you do not have Instagram, I will explain it. Pittsburgh Personified is a page that is ran and curated by Marla Kaufman. She started this page a couple of years ago, I think in 2019, if I'm correct, but the way to describe Pittsburgh Personified is it's a meme page. It's a meme page that is using everything that has any relevance in the city of Pittsburgh and, kind of making them the butt of the joke, so to speak. And it's not necessarily in a bad way. You got all kinds of good stuff on there. A perfect example. We all remember whenever that damn bus fell in the sinkhole. You saw it on social media for weeks. If you go to Pittsburgh Personified, obviously it's like the news, except it's a little bit better. You're not going to see a lot of the negative. You're going to see a lot of the funny stuff. You're going to see what's going on. It's timely, it's current, but as you're looking through it, you see a variety of different things. You'll see pictures of Rick Seaback. You'll see Reddit threads from the Pittsburgh subreddit. You'll see, random screen grabs of tweets that have to do with anything Pittsburgh. For instance, there's one that I saw today that was this is a real tweet from the Heinz History Center. It says, "Tell us yins are from Pittsburgh without telling us yins are from Pittsburgh." And someone random replied and just said, "Burnt almond tort." So shout out to Pranels. We already know burnt almond tort. That is a hell of a cake. I believe I think that's the flavor we had at our wedding, if I'm not mistaken. But by far, my favorite meme, which was also a Twitter grab, on the whole entire Pittsburgh Personified page, is one that says, "Hell is real," and it's called Giant Eagle. And I think that is what is so great about this page, and so great about what Marla does with curating this page. Anyone could really, just make a bunch of low-hanging fruit, dumbass memes, and I'm not saying that that's not all right and that there's not some of that on there, but what's fun about this page is it's content that's made by real yinzers. She's scrolling through Twitter and just seeing random ass tweets. She don't even know half these people. Probably more than half of them. She probably knows 5% of the people, but the 95% are just other random Yinzers like you and me. And it's her finding funny stuff and screen grabbing it. And she created a home for all of us to go to. She created us a land of misfit toys. And we could all go there and we could all see this hilarious shit. Like there's another one right here. It's a picture of 3 girls with a Pittsburgh jacket on, Pittsburgh Steelers jacket. And then the description says, walking into my Airbnb in Paris, France. In Paris, France. These English girls are leaving, and this is what I see. There is no escape. And like I said, it's 3 girls, and they're wearing a Pittsburgh Steeler jacket. It's in Paris, France. You know, you can't escape the Pittsburgh people. There's nothing that you could do. We're in your blood. You know, we're everywhere you look. Yins know it. Yins love it. And I'm just happy to be able to sit down with Marla and kind of figure out why this page came to be. I wanted to know why she started this. I wanted to know where it really came from. And I wanted to know how she runs it more than anything, because let's be honest, it's crazy. Anytime you look on there, there's the most random shit you'll ever see. It could be, you know, grocery stores. It could be stuff about, well, actually, you know, another thing that I wanted to bring up, you know, in her bio, which also was like a big thing for me, it says, Pittsburgh stuff. If you're looking for a Steelers fan page, this is not it. And I was like, you know, we all know what's going on with the Steelers. Like you could go on, you know, there's a lot of other Steelers and sports meme pages, but like that's what's good about this one. This isn't just talking about Steelers. It's not just talking about the Pirates, and it's not just talking about the Penguins. And I get it. We're all Pittsburghers. We love the Holy Trinity here in the city. But, you know, it's fun whenever you get to see the other side of it. I want to see what people are talking about as they're, you know, what are the thoughts that are going into their mind while they're walking through Whole Foods that they tweet as soon as they get in their car. That's the type of shit that Marla's putting on her page. But I will quit talking your ear off. Go over, check it out for yourself at Pittsburgh Personified. You will love it, I'm sure. So without further ado, episode 233 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with Marla Kaufman of Pittsburgh Personified.
I gotta use the telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast.
Talk to a lot of cool people.
I try to be pretty diverse. Would you like a water too?
I brought some. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I try to talk to different people.
Oh, Topo
you know,
Chico.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel free to have one of them too.
I have enough.
I just like talking to different people.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
usually get like word of mouth with a bunch of good people. Once I talk to someone good, it's like everyone else is like, oh, I got so many other people that you could talk with. And, you know, if you're interested to talk to, have you ever done anything like this?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I've like been on the radio once, and it was kind of, but
Yeah, I mean, that's radios.
Yeah.
That's hearsay. This is like more, you know, I don't have like a bunch of questions written down. It's very relaxed. The horror movie compendium is a little bit different than what I usually do, but like, you know, I kind of just find out what people are, why they're doing what they're doing. Cool. And obviously Pittsburgh Personified is a big Instagram throughout the city.
Yeah.
It's very popular. I mean, you see everyone sharing it, every different type of person.
I know. It's really wild how like big it's gotten.
Yeah, I mean, I was late to the game. The first post that I've ever seen was an older post that someone reshared, and it was the post from 13 Reasons Why and Rick Seaback, and it says that smile, that damn smile.
Yeah,
and it's just him grinning. And I was like, all right, so I got to follow this now. But it's basically, I mean, like, what do you even describe Pittsburgh Personified as?
I'd say it's like a mashup of just like pop culture and meme culture, but just with Pittsburgh stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Because I kind of, when I made the page, I tried to make it like in the style of pages that I like to follow.
Yeah.
Because I follow some other Pittsburgh things, but a lot of them are like really sports heavy or really like social justice heavy and they're not really funny.
Yeah.
So I just I have this big love for pop culture. There's this podcast that I like to listen to called Who Weekly, and it's about like B-list celebrities.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
like what type? Like James Vanderbeek? Like people like him?
So, they have this thing where they talk about like, are they a who or are they a them? So like Brad Pitt would be a them, but
that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, I don't know, since we're on the Pittsburgh theme, I guess
It's like Michael Keaton. He's a them.
Yeah, he's a them. I'd say he's a them.
Yeah.
Maybe like
Joe Manganiello's a them.
He's a them. I'm trying to think of the woman's name who's in Community that's from Pittsburgh. Jillian.
Oh, she's from Pittsburgh?
She grew up in Mount Lebanon.
So that's a
I would think she'd be they.
Yeah.
Like you'd see her and you probably know who she was, but since like I can't think of her name right now.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I get
like,
what you're
who
saying.
Are they?
That's interesting. I looked back into the page and the first post was from like July 2019, and it was real funny. It was like all the different towns and all the names of the towns under it, and then like a character above it, like Steve Zissou, all them.
Oh yeah.
And you started out with like a bunch of those different ones, and then it like slowly progressed into like this wide range of just like hilarious stuff. But what even makes you like want to start one of these pages?
Well, so back to the neighborhood posts. The first post I did, it was like different Bill Murray characters.
Yeah.
And I did them as different neighborhoods. And I would
made that?
Yeah. That was me. I made that.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a meme page then or anything. I just like shared it on my Facebook because I thought it was funny. I think I had actually just started a new job and it was kind of like, you know how you're like, you don't always have tons of stuff to do whenever you start a new job. And I think I was on my lunch break and I would love to say that I came up with that idea myself, but I actually saw it. I think somebody did it for like Minneapolis, like neighborhoods of Minneapolis. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. I'm going to do it for Pittsburgh. So I did. And it ended up it got almost like 1,000 reshares.
This is on Facebook?
Yeah. From my personal Facebook page. Okay. And then like people were asking me to do it with other characters. So I did one with, oh my gosh, why can't I think of his name? Jurassic Park from Pittsburgh guy.
Oh yeah. Fuck.
How are we forgetting his name?
He's in The Fly.
Yeah.
Not
all I can think is Steve Buscemi, but that's not right at all. Why can't
Jeff
we think
Goldblum?
Jeff Goldblum. Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum. We're terrible Pittsburghers.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. So I did it with Jeff Goldblum. And then I started doing it with other people, and then other people started making their own. Like somebody else did a really good one of Britney Spears.
Oh wow!
And then I think I used like different TV shows. Like I did a Parks and Rec one.
Yeah.
And they started getting shared a lot on Facebook, and then I was like, well, I'm just gonna like house these somewhere, so I'm gonna put them on this page. And I didn't have a lot of followers.
Did it start as Pittsburgh Personified?
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I'm personifying neighborhoods, like so that'll be the.
That's a good name though.
Yeah, it's all right. Sometimes I like think about it now, and I'm like, is it the best name? But I don't know. Nobody seems to hate it.
So this was like something that was just. This was in passing. This is just a place to put some of the things that you were just making for fun.
Yeah.
Now, are you a meme person? Like, were you someone that was making memes? You know?
No. I mean, I always loved them, and I love it. Like Instagram's like my favorite. I'm a social media person. Like I do my day job is marketing and communications, and like I love doing personal social media. I love Twitter, but Instagram's always been one of my favorites because I feel like Instagram kind of gets away from the discourse a little bit. But so I've always loved Instagram, and I've always followed a bunch of different meme pages. But I started this one. So I started housing things there, and I started coming up with like a few. Like I think I did one. It was like maybe the summer of 2019, and it was really hot. And I remember making one with the video from Indiana Jones where the guy's face melts.
Oh yeah.
Like I did that one. And that like I might have had like 20 followers.
That's what I mean. Like you started that from scratch?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then it grew a little bit. Like I got like a couple hundred, and people would reshare stuff. But then I like didn't post a whole lot.
Yeah.
But then when COVID hit in 2020, at the time I lived by myself. It was just me and my dog. So I didn't really have a whole lot to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I really started
expanded.
memeing. Yeah. That's when I really started memeing. And I think when the page really started, when it took off the most, I did this post of, it was from Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
And it was like cast members of The French Dispatch and Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
And they were all there were 4 of them standing there. I think it was Wes Anderson, Timothée Chalamet, Tilda Swinton, and there was somebody, Bill Murray. And they all had these different, very obnoxious outfits on, but they were all very different. And I did another little neighborhood meme where I think like Timmy was
like Lawrenceville.
Timmy was Bloomfield.
Yeah.
Wes Anderson was Lawrenceville. I think Tilda was Shadyside and Bill Murray was Squirrel Hill.
You're just like you're a pop junkie.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you like a big movie person?
Oh, I love movies. I especially love horror movies. But yeah, I just love pop culture and just like weird pop culture things. And
yeah.
I follow so many pages where they're just like screen grabs from random movies.
Yeah, I love it.
I think those are hilarious.
With like the color palettes at the bottom.
Yeah,
too.
the color palettes
that.
or just like weird random quotes. Like
Yeah.
I love pages
No
that
context.
are out of context. Those are my favorites.
Yeah, those are hilarious.
I often get a lot of meme ideas from those. Like I'll see, like I just posted a space ghost meme.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and it was about just like the weather in Pittsburgh.
Are you from Pittsburgh?
So I grew up in Central PA. I'm not from here originally, but I came to Duquesne. I came to Pittsburgh for school in 2009. I went to Duquesne, and I've kind of been here ever since.
What did you want to do at Duquesne?
I liked Duquesne because I grew up in like the middle of nowhere. Can we swear on this podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. I grew up in bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah.
It's called Lewistown, PA. It's like 20 minutes south of where Penn State is, State College.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's not really anything in Lewistown. There's like lots of Amish, but it's not the touristy Amish like in Lancaster.
Yeah.
It's
It's more like a smaller one, like Valant, something like that.
Yeah, kind of like that. A lot of people get it confused with Lewisburg, where Bucknell is.
Okay.
But yeah, there's just like not really anything there. So then when I came to Pittsburgh,
well, what does someone in a small town up there do for fun? Like, what were you into in high school?
Oh gosh, I was actually it's funny. I was kind of a good girl in high school. I didn't like drink or do drugs, but a lot of people drink. There's a lot of teen pregnancy.
Yeah, there's probably nothing to do up there.
So yeah, that's what people do for fun.
You just drinking in woods and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know my friends. I did a lot of sports in high school.
Nice.
And like my friends and I would have like movie nights and stuff.
Yeah, so always been into movies and stuff.
Yeah, well, and so one thing you say what you do for fun, and I guess this kind of like led the way to the memeing. But when I was in middle school, like at the peak of like internet technology.
Can I ask how old you are?
I'm 31.
Okay.
So are we about the same age?
I'm 32, yeah.
Okay,
so
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I kind of figured because I listened to a couple of your other podcasts and
I'm dated.
I remember you saying you were about 8 or 9 when Blair Witch came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah,
Fucked
okay,
up.
we're like the same age. But so like precursor to MySpace, I had an X page.
X page.
Yeah, it was like pre-Live Journal. It was kind of like Live Journal before
like
Live
Zanga?
Journal. Yeah, it was kind of it was like that. It was
like that same like template of website that was there. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah,
though.
like you
X
get like
page.
your own. It was basically like you get your own page and you can do like HTML coding and like you can throw like a MIDI file on it or you can put different pictures up, and I like learned how to do like basic HTML coding because I had this X page. It's funny. I was actually telling someone the other night that like, I swear I haven't worked as hard at anything since like learning how to do HTML coding when I was 13.
Getting my now sister-in-law back then, she was just my friend. She was, she was real heavy into MySpace, but I remember like sitting down there one Friday night and we're like picking out my page and, you're picking out everything and
it
was a golden age. It was a golden age of it all.
Yeah. And it was back when you'd get on the computer. It wasn't like, now we just live there.
Yeah, you just live on the computer. But it's like back then, you're like, I'm going to go home and I'm going to see who's on AIM. And it's like, it was so much better whenever you didn't have like a constant lifeline. Just made things so much more fun. You hear that door open and you're like, who's on?
Yeah.
Hear it shut and you're, who left? Away messages, whole different thing.
Oh, I know. I miss putting up like moody lyrics.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I was like right in there. I was like, in the emo phase. So it was like,
sure.
ex-girlfriend, fuck you, all that, and you just keep it going.
Yeah, mine was just like a constant Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh, I love it.
Lyric page. Constantly.
I love it.
But yeah, so that honestly, that's what I did for fun a lot.
Yeah, I was
I was on the internet a lot.
Yeah, if you don't have a lot of stuff to do up there, I'm sure you spend a lot of time online.
Yeah.
That's I guess it's weird how everyone kind of the age of social media is weird because it's like now, like you said, we live in it.
Oh yeah.
But it was cool to be able to see both ends of it. And I think we're like the last age to be able to really do that. When did you get a cell phone?
My first cell phone, I had a track phone, and I think I got that in 10th grade. So I would have been like 15.
Yeah, it's like I got one a little bit later. I think I was like 17 or 18, but it's just like, you got 10-year-olds that are having phones now.
I know.
And on Instagram, and you're like, stop. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird. Now, for you to, kind of figure out what you want to do, it's like, what did you originally want to go to Duquesne for?
So to study, I think I wanted to do like something liberal artsy. I think at that point, the reason I picked Duquesne was because I really wanted to go to school in a city. I really wanted to go to NYU, but my parents were like, no, it's too expensive. We're not taking you to New York City.
Chaos up there.
Yeah. My dad gets stressed out driving in Pittsburgh. Like I can't imagine what him taking me to New York would have been like. But so, I applied to Duquesne because I liked the fact that it was, like a small school in a big city, other than that, like I'm not Catholic. There wasn't really any
Is
other
that a Catholic school?
Yeah, it is. It's a Catholic school.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah. But yeah. And I mean, Duquesne, it was fine. It was like, whatever.
How long did you go?
I was there for 4 years.
Oh, what did you major in something?
My major, I majored in marketing communications and English composition.
And that's what you do now pretty much is social media.
Yeah, I do. So I do communications for a small nonprofit organization. It's like it's a research and education institute.
That's what's up.
Yeah, there's only like 10 people that we have. I work from home now, which is kind of nice. But yeah, so it's a lot different. It's a lot different than the Pittsburgh Personified page, but it pays the bills.
Yeah, it pays the bills and it gives you a creative outlet.
Yeah, definitely.
Different moniker you could, expand on. Now, for you to, make this page and for it to start catching on, it's like, how long into it does it start, like, are people starting to like follow it? Because what do you have now, like 40,000 followers on there?
Yeah, it's almost at 42,000 followers, which is wild.
That's crazy.
I went to a Pens game a few months ago, and I was with my parents, and because my dad like knows weird numbers and facts and things like that. And I was like, how many people fit in here? And he said, it's about 16,000. And I was like, holy shit, that's like 2.5 of these is what follow me, which is, it's just so crazy to me that many people like have an interest in anything that I'm doing.
Yeah. It's the city has a captivating hold onto people.
Yeah.
And they like to see it in the light and the dark.
Oh, for sure.
And so that, to kind of expand onto that, it's like we talked about, we talked about what you originally started like posting, and it was basically a bunch of characters to each of the neighborhoods in the city. But it's like now it's kind of everything. Did you, whenever the page started to first get established, were you someone that was like kind of willy-nilly about what you were posting on there? Did you have like certain, criteria that you follow?
Well, like I said, I kind of tried to model it after pages that I like to follow.
Yeah.
And
the stuff that you like and dislike.
Yeah, and there are a bunch of pages that I follow that they post memes as well as like funny tweets from other people on the web, and that's something I think I started doing that pretty early on. Like I follow Pittsburgh Twitter, and there's a lot of like people I follow on my personal page, and they're just tweeting funny things about Pittsburgh. And a lot of times I'll see something and think like, oh, that's good for the page, and share it. And people love to be posted on there. Like people will say, oh, I made it if they're posted on the page, which is, again, it's so funny to me that like, because I reposted someone's tweet, they say they've made it, which I know isn't like in jest, but it's just, I like that I can like make people happy like that with this page. Yeah.
Something that's simple to just repost a tweet. Now, whenever you're like starting this out and it's like growing to what it is and you're starting to get like a bigger following, like what are some of the first big events in the city that like kind of like gave you a lot of ammunition, where it's like obviously the bus?
Oh, definitely the bus sinkhole. I think that was right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So maybe, because I know, and it's funny that I even remember this, but I hit 10,000 followers the summer of 2020 because I remember it was the summer
of COVID.
Yeah. But I definitely posted stuff about the bus when it happened. And I think that's kind of what started like putting me over the like 120 or what, that's what kind of pushed me into the hundreds, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the bus was definitely huge. Picklesburgh, people love Picklesburgh.
Yeah. What's your real opinions about it?
My opinions about Picklesburgh? I went once and it was kind of like,
once is enough.
This is fun. And once, if you like really love pickles, maybe it's for you. If you're downtown for something else, it might be cool to check out. But I personally would not make a trip to Pittsburgh just for Picklesburgh.
And that's fair. I feel like that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, sorry, Picklesburgh organizers.
That's all right. I mean, I feel like whatever we say on here is not ill will. Like basically, it's just like I'm really genuinely curious because obviously it's so gross to talk about like social media.
I know.
It's gross to talk about likes, followers, and stuff like that. But Pittsburgh Personified is a pretty big like through line with everyone. And I think that I looked at how many people I follow you, and it's like 200 some. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot, and everyone is kind of in touch with it. But it's like, it's just interesting to see like what people from the city gravitate towards, like what stuff really like gets them fired up and what it doesn't. Now, do you like, whenever this started happening, like, are you someone that like, actively sets aside time now to like get ammunition for that? I keep saying ammunition, but like get content for this page?
I don't like, so basically it's kind of like when something strikes me as funny, that's usually when I do it.
Just nonchalantly, you'll be like randomly consuming social media like a normal person, and if you see it, you clip it.
I'll see something and think, oh, it'd be really funny if I added this caption to that, or if I see someone post something funny to repost, I'll be like, oh, that's something good. But I'm not, I don't have like time set aside in my schedule to do it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, because if a page is getting this big, like, do you have like, I don't have a page that's that big. I don't know what page numbers need to be at before people start like giving them decent money. Yeah. It's like, is that ever a thought in your mind to like monetize the page?
So I'll tell you, as a someone who has a background in like professional social media versus this page, I feel like everything that's happened with this page has been a lot of luck. Yeah. Truly. I think a lot of like what goes viral on social media is
things that you wouldn't.
It's just luck. Like, I think, so I just I did a master's degree in healthcare communications this year, and I took a class on social media, and so much of it was like running numbers to find what's going to work for your page. And honestly, like people can, like, tell me if they think I'm wrong, but I think it's a lot of bullshit. Like, I think people want to find this, like, they want to find like a secret formula, so that especially people who like work for like an agency, like they want to go to their clients and say, well, we have the secret formula that's going to help you get X amount of followers and a viral post and all this. But I feel like stuff that goes viral, and I mean, who am I? I have a little tiny viral page. It's not like I have like 1 million followers, but in my experience, everything has been like the stuff that goes viral. It's just kind of been luck. Like, I can't plan what's going to be really big.
Yeah.
You know, I have noticed after having done it for a couple years, the stuff that people like the most are actually about weather and traffic.
Really?
Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah.
Weather and traffic get the most.
Because that was like one thing that I was definitely going to ask is like, what really gets Pittsburghers like, you know, going, and like what really like fires them up? Like, is there like topics where people are like, you know, don't fucking say nothing about that, you know, like stuff like that? Since I've gained more followers, I try not to get too political. Yeah,
but
I know it's difficult.
Yeah, I definitely had more of a political slant maybe about a year ago, and like around election time, I'll get a little more political, and I always lose followers whenever I post political things.
It's understandable.
Because I kind of skew towards the more progressive side of things, and
but you also post funny shit like the Bill Peduto's poems and stuff like that. Like absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. But I'll always lose followers then, but like whatever, I don't really care.
Well, I feel like that it's necessary to do that because like you have to be somewhat you have to like curate it to somewhat of who you are, because if it's just like completely through line, like completely mid, it's just there's no like soul to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
See through that.
Yeah, people see through it. Now,
I'll tell you one that really I'm not going to say what it said exactly, but
can I cut this out and then can you tell me?
Oh yeah,
it?
sure. It said Ben Roethlisberger's a rapist.
I swear to God, I was just going to bring it up.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
I just won't bring it up.
Oh no, you can say it.
Well, I mean, like, it's crazy because, you know, Pittsburghers they're so like, what's the word? It's like they're gatekeepers to things that they want to be gatekeepers with.
Yeah.
It's like people will never forget things, but if it's someone that Pittsburghers hold highly to themselves, maybe a certain figure of one of the big sports teams who was accused of doing something in a bathroom that might have been in a negative light that was kind of clearly wrong, people just people just act like they forget about it.
Yeah.
And it's wild to think about that because, you know, people just get canceled about like restaurants and like food. And, you know, if they like have to do things for their employees and let employees go, people are like, I'm never fucking giving a dime to this business again. But the rest of Pittsburgh's like, let's go Steelers.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just weird because I feel like it would almost give me anxiety to, you know, run a page like that.
Yeah, I've definitely had some, like sometimes before I post something, I'll like send it around to some friends and be like, hey, does this seem okay? Like if it's kind of borderline.
Yeah, like edgy.
As far as, yeah, like, you know, I don't want to get canceled.
Yeah.
But I try to be really mindful of like more taboo topics. Like I try to keep things more more lighthearted.
Yeah, lighthearted.
But,
I feel like you can get that.
Yeah, but also, you know, I think there is important stuff to talk about. Like, I try to kind of like make fun of the fact that there's so many gentrified neighborhoods, which isn't, you know, that's not a funny topic, but it's definitely something that is not cool about our city, but also that a lot of us benefit from. So,
it's a good way to, you know, bring it to light. You know, you find the comedic release in like all the terrible shit because everyone knows that it's happening.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and if people can make fun of it, you know, it kind of is the silver lining of all this shit that's going on around us.
Yeah.
It's like, why not build another whole skyscraper that's going to be filled with absolutely no one again? I don't know.
Like we have, you know, there are empty luxury apartments downtown, but the homeless shelter that they just opened is completely full.
Yeah, every night.
So, you know, stuff like, and I think that's why, because sometimes, you know, people will like, there are Pittsburgh pages that are just like, yeah, Pittsburgh's great. Like everything about Pittsburgh is great. And I think what I try to do is kind of like love it, but at the same time talk about the shitty stuff in a way that's fun and funny, but also kind of, you know, starts conversations. Sometimes I've had to turn comments off on certain posts because people get real nasty.
Oh, I bet. That was like kind of what I was going to work into next. Because I mean, like, do you spend a lot of time in the comments?
So I don't, because if I looked at every single one of them, especially as more people start to follow the page, I'd be looking at it all the time. But I recently posted something. It was actually a tweet from my friend that it was saying that he said, I feel like Target is a safer queer space than a certain gay bar in town. And he was kind of just saying that, like, he was just saying, like, Target's great as a queer space. Yeah. But a lot of people were taking it as, like, a slam for this particular bar. Yeah. And people were just, like, going off in the comments on, like, both sides. And, you know, I had to message my friend who did the tweet and be like, oh, if anyone's, like, being particularly nasty to you or anything, let me know and I'll just turn it off.
Do you have that, like, where you post people's Twitter? Because you don't make it anonymous. You'll post their Twitter
account. Yeah. Normally I'm just, you know, going through Twitter. Now that one was someone who I'm friends with sent me something that they sent me a statement he thought was funny. And then I was like, oh, tweet that and I'll screenshot it. That's great. I normally don't do that. I'm normally just like scrolling Twitter and it's a surprise for whoever is, getting tweeted. Yeah. But
now for you to post people and like, did you ever have anyone reach out to you and be like, yo, take my name down?
No.
That's interesting.
Yeah. No, people always seem to be happy that they're on there. Sometimes I don't always know the person's Instagram handle, so I can't tag them directly. And then somebody will comment with that person's Instagram and say like, hey, tag this person. Yeah. But no one's ever asked me to take anything down.
That's interesting.
And again, I try not to put like specific people on blast too hard, except for Bill Peduto, I guess. But, or you know, Ben Roethlisberger. But other than that, I just try to be kind of mindful about that. So I think maybe that's why nobody's like been like, hey,
you're not like, you know, you don't have a crazy agenda where you're like, look at what this person said.
Oh, I do. So one funny thing, it wasn't someone asking me to take it down, but so somebody who is a certain mascot that I won't say because I don't want to, but a mascot that got posted, I got a video sent to me, and I thought it was just someone on the street and like taking a video, you know, and I tagged the person in the video and they messaged me back and were like, could you take my tag down because I may or may not be the person in the suit.
Oh, wow. So, that's interesting.
So that happened. But I mean, it's cool to have someone on the inside, you know?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I almost feel like it's like I have someone taking paparazzi photos for me or something.
Yeah, I mean, great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you didn't even know it was going to happen, probably.
No.
I mean, as this thing grows, it's like, what are your goals with it? You know, like, does it ever? You said you like social media. You said you're a social media person. You know, I'm starting in my older years to like drift away from it as much as I can.
Yeah.
You know, do you have any idea of what you want the page to be?
Yeah. So for the page, I mean, I'd love for it to keep growing. I don't want it. I never wanted to like hustle to like, I never wanted it to be like a hustle to make money. Yeah. Cause I know like at this point I probably could like reach out to people and do advertising but if I start doing that, it's not going to be fun for me anymore. You know, Instagram has done this thing recently where if they'll do like a payout for Reels play, which, you know, I've gotten like a teeny tiny bit of money from that. I'm definitely not going to be able to quit my day job, but that's been something, that's been like a little nice, you know, for the small amount of work that I do put into it. But, yeah, I'd love for the page to keep growing. It's awesome that I'm getting to do stuff like this. I'm actually talking to the folks that own Bottle Rocket. in Mount Washington. It's a Bottle Rocket Social Hall. It's an awesome bar. I don't know if you've been there.
I have been there.
Because he mentioned to me that they're working with you to do a show too.
Yeah.
But so I'm working with them to potentially do.
Well, what was the first show you did? So you did a first show there, right?
Oh yeah. So I did it. I was a guest there for the show, the Depths of Wikipedia show.
Yeah.
I just like answered some trivia questions or something. And it was fun. I got all the trivia questions wrong, but that's fine. It was still fun. And
what is that, Depths of Wikipedia?
So Depths of Wikipedia is an Instagram page that it's just like weird Wikipedia posts. Oh. And it's really fun. Like there's a lot of, I'm trying to think some of her more recent posts. Well, like, so in the show, she had specific to Pittsburgh Wikipedia articles.
Yeah.
And one was about, I guess there was a Pirates player in the 70s or 80s who just like beat up a mascot from the other team.
Wow.
Or hit them with the bat or something. And it was a Wikipedia post and people thought that was funny.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And I think that's one thing I love about social media. Like, I personally have a love-hate relationship with social media because there's things I don't like about it,
Absolutely.
I don't like you said, the like having to talk about likes and the constant like negative things in the comments or whatever. But I do love that you can like hone in on these like weird niche things you never would get to see gathered together in one place.
Yeah, what type of audience is this post going to have? And then you see what type of people, what type of creatures crawl into that comment section. Right. Can't even believe people were like thinking about it. Because I, scrolling through and like reading through some of them comments, like that Rick Seaback post, that I didn't read through a bunch of them, but just hilarious the stuff that people say. Someone was like, one time he slapped my hand at Kennywood, and I changed my life forever. And you're just like, it's hilarious. People love it.
I know. I walked by him at a Comic-Con once downtown, and I wanted a picture, but I was like, I don't want to bother him.
Oh my God. It's probably the nicest guy I've ever met.
Well, I posted that as a comment from the Pittsburgh Personified account, and he commented back and he was like, oh, please, anytime you can stop me for a picture. And I was like, he's so nice.
Rick is honestly the nicest guy ever. When we got done talking for the second time, he's like, you want to take a ride in the car? And I was like, 1,000,000%. I want to ride in your Mini Cooper with you.
Well, I guess that's like, personally, those are my goals. Like, it's like, I hope this page allows me to like meet more people who are kind of
best part about
Pittsburgh famous.
This is 100% the best part about this podcast, and it's why I do it. I mean, I'm actually taking advantage of everyone because I just get to all these cool stories and like get to go hang out with people, go see stuff. People bring me food and everything.
Yeah,
it's good, but it's also just like fun to like learn about people and like why they're doing what they're doing, because so many people are doing these like fun things in the city, and this is just like another addition to it. What is now, I'm curious to know, like, is there anything that you ever posted that like started to get like, like an overwhelming amount of negative stuff that you had to delete?
So, do you know who Rachel Ann Bouvier is?
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh poetess.
Oh, yeah.
Who is amazing. And I love her billboards. Everyone loves her billboards. Well, there's a billboard that is on...
She never answers the voicemails.
No.
I try to get her on.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Facebook friends with her. And
maybe we'll talk after this.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I messaged her once about something.
Did she get back to you?
A possible surprise for the future. And yeah, she got right back to me.
Oh yeah, a kid that I know, a buddy, his family got him a poem made by her for his birthday.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's the best. And you see all them billboards all the time in McKees Rocks. I need to figure out what that's about.
Yeah. But the negative comments, so a business downtown, it was like a weed dispensary or something. They put up a billboard where one of her billboards has historically been, for like years. And somebody did a tweet about it and it just said like, oh, where's Rachel? And I posted it on the page, like, it's just a joke. Like, we're not saying anything negative about the business.
Yeah.
That's like, everybody understands how billboards work. Like, that's a business itself. But people started commenting and being like, oh yeah, where's Rachel? And this business, like, they started going in on the comments, and they got like really defensive, and they kind of said some offensive things. Honestly, the business said some offensive things, and I ended up turning the comments off on that one because it got weird.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
It got really weird.
No reason to do to participate in all that.
Yeah, right. And well, like I said, like if one person is, if one entity is going after another entity, like that doesn't deserve it. And I mean, I know maybe that's me playing God a little bit, deciding who deserves it. But anyway, there's no need for that.
Yeah, so. no need for this negativity. Just right. A little bit of fun in there.
Yeah.
Do people get pretty crazy about pizza?
Pizza, yeah.
Anytime you're posting pizza pages?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people do. I haven't done a pizza post in a long time. The last one I think I remember doing was
Joe Biden.
Yeah, Joe Biden.
They were like, it was Minios.
Yeah, did he have Minios?
Yeah, honestly, the most overrated pizza I've ever had. But that's why I asked, like, Pittsburgh, I look in the comments and it's like, you know, people live and die on the Minios and the...
I think it's so funny.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, because so my boyfriend grew up here and he like has all these tells me these pizza places that are good and I guess there's one in the South Hills that they put like cold mozzarella cheese on the. Do you know which one that is?
Yeah, it's called Beto.
Okay, Beto's. Yeah, I've never had it, but it's like, you know, him and his brother talk about it like it's
100%. It's not the best pizza.
Okay, but they talk about it like it's like so
it's a
good.
novelty.
But then I love Caliente pizza.
I have not had it yet.
I think it's really good.
Everyone says it's great. I haven't had it yet.
But then my boyfriend and his brother, like they don't like it and they make fun of me for liking it because they like this, you know, the like historic Pittsburgh pizza.
What's their favorites?
They like Aiello's and Minios.
Crazy.
But then I don't know if I'm saying, I mean, I might not be saying their favorite ones because I get them all confused because the names all sound the same.
That's all right. Now
Fiore's. They like Fiore's.
Oh, yeah. It's the same. Fiore's, Aiello's, and Minios. Those are the same three, basically.
Yeah. That's kind of, I'm like, it's all right, but it's not my favorite. I really like Caliente.
That's your favorite? I was going to ask,
I really like
as an outsider, like, you like that?
Yeah.
That's good.
It's more, I guess though, I think the reason I like it is it's kind of like the pizza I grew up with in my hometown where it's a little breadier.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
That's all right.
It is kind of funny how defensive people get about their pizza though.
Absolutely insane. Are you on Reddit?
I'm on Reddit, but not as much as I should be.
Do you ever follow the Pittsburgh Sub?
Yes, I do.
Insane.
Yeah.
It's like the stuff that gets people fired up on there. And I feel like Reddit is way more of the Wild West than Instagram.
Oh, for sure.
And you have some crazy shit that you see on Reddit. And
one of my most popular posts recently was from the Reddit, and it was somebody asking, and
I saw it.
I kind of think it might have been a joke. I hope it was a joke. For God's sakes, I hope it was.
It was the rabbit turds?
No, somebody posted and said, I'm moving to Pittsburgh from Florida and and my husband and I don't like snow. So we're looking for a neighborhood that doesn't get snow. And I posted it with a gif of Steve Brule from the Tim and Eric show being like, what?
Rules.
Yeah.
I saw that one. And then did you see, I think it was on Reddit, but someone posted a picture of like rabbit shit and they were like, what kind of berries are these? And for some reason, just absolutely insane.
I think I did see that.
Just like, and that's a perfect example about the shit that like, what is going to take off? You know, what do people of Pittsburgh like really enjoy that, you know, what are some low hanging fruit that, you know, if you post it, you're just like, this will be all right.
Yeah. It's always a surprise to me. Like ones that I think are going to do really well.
Like the lady from Permanis and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, it's like, I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Which, you know, half the battle is making myself laugh.
Yeah.
So if I do that, I've succeeded.
I would hope that the stuff that you post is like, honestly, just stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah. Well, that's how the page started. And I kind of, like I said, I don't want to make it a hustle because it won't be fun for me if I do that.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, I kind of just really try to make it stuff I think is funny.
Have you ever wanted to, you know, keep yourself anonymous from it all? Did you ever think about that in the beginning?
I did a little bit, but then I was like, I mean, someone's probably going to track it back to me anyway. And also, I mean, there's a part of me, like, there's a part of me that's
like
a little proud of it.
Yeah, you want the credit. That's fair.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I told you I love social media, so I guess I'm a little bit of a narcissist
That's all
at
right.
heart.
We're
but
all kind of it.
Yeah. But I just don't want it to be a hustle. That's the thing I really don't want it to be. I always want to be like having a little bit of fun doing it, because if I'm not, then it's just work, and I don't want it to be work.
Yeah, it's hard to involve both of it. It's like trying to find someone to pay me for this stuff is like, I don't want to, because I, as a podcast listener, do you listen to podcasts? So I fast forward through ads all the time. And I just don't want to put, this is a fucking Window Nation ad. And you know what I mean? Because I hate that more than anything. It's like, I know Mikey and Bob don't give a shit about Window Nation. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to listen to this. So if I'm going to talk about something, it's going to be something that I enjoy. Yeah. Something that I want to talk about.
I was thinking about Mikey and Bob on the way over here. I was thinking about the Insplosion.
Oh yeah. It's like, you can't really, there's people and there's figures in the city that like, kind of give off that same kind of vibe as what you do. And it's like people like Mikey and Bob, it's like they're always going to share the most ridiculous shit, and it's hilarious. And if it becomes that big of a thing, people all know about it. It's like the bus meme, all that stuff. It's terrible. Do you have celebrities that follow your page?
I haven't really taken a hard look at that.
You really don't know if there's anyone?
Like, I know I definitely have some blue checks. And I tried Joe Manganiello did comment on one of my posts once, which that was pretty cool. Because he's, like we said, he's a them. He's not a who. But I've
messaged him probably 15 times.
Really?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he commented on one of my posts, so that was kind of like a big deal. But I definitely have, I thought more sports people, like more,
Are you a sports person yourself?
Sports ball players? Not really. I think so. My little tagline on my Instagram page is, if you're looking for a Steelers page, this isn't it.
I love that. I think that's why I followed it, because I don't watch football at all.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do Steelers adjacent posts, but I don't really do like, I don't do sports posts.
Yeah, you don't have your thumb on the heartbeat of it all.
No.
Like, let's fucking go. Yeah.
No. I enjoy a hockey game if I'm going and watching it live, but hockey I don't really follow it.
Sitting at PNC Park is fun.
The pierogi race is my favorite sporting event.
Who's your favorite?
I like Cheese Chester, because do you remember in 2018 when Cheese Chester broke his leg during the race, and they had a doctor come out on the field, and Cheese Chester was wheeled off, and I mean it was like the WWE. It wasn't real, but I thought it was real. I thought you meant like the actor. No, it was like WWE. Like there was some hardcore writing that went into this.
Oh, I love it.
And then there's a photo on the internet, if you Google it, Cheese Chester broken leg incident. There's a photo of Cheese Chester on crutches and in a cast, like next to the Pirates logo, and his face, like he already looks grumpy, but in this photo he looks extra grumpy just because of. But then they made there were a couple pierogi races where so he was gone for a while, like he wasn't racing for a while because he was injured, and then they brought Bacon Bird in. That's when they brought Bacon Bird in, because Cheese Chester was out with an injury. And then Cheese Chester came back, and Bacon Bird was mad. So he was like tripping Cheese Chester, and it was like,
I kind of rivalry.
Yeah, I kind of wish they'd bring back that. Although recently I went to a Pirates game, and they did a pierogi race, and one of them wasn't racing, and they said somebody pushed him in the freezer. Which
that's good writing.
That's that kind of ridiculous stuff that's the shit I love. Just weird, ridiculous stuff like that. I do posts about the titty sphinx. Do you know about that?
I saw the Halloween costume.
Yeah, so somebody dressed up like it for Halloween.
What is the titty sphinx?
But okay, so titty sphinx. All my Bloomfield, Lawrenceville people will appreciate me talking about this. So titty sphinx there's a mausoleum in the Allegheny Cemetery, and I feel like the odd Pittsburgh guy might be able to he might be able to give you more information on this, but because I don't know the history behind it, but there's this mausoleum in Allegheny Cemetery on the Penn Avenue entrance. It's right in the Penn Avenue entrance, and it's Egyptian themed. So the door has pharaoh on it, and there are these sphinxes, these very regal sphinxes, to either side of the entrance to the mausoleum, but they have giant boobs.
Wow.
Like they just have giant boobs. And like somebody paid a lot of money to have their family mausoleum look like this.
That's some gangster stuff.
And I think it's like a thing for people to like go get food at Spack Brothers and go sit behind the Titty Sphinx mausoleum and
sickos.
Yeah, and hang out.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to ask him what that means. I wonder if he knows about that. I'm sure he does.
Yeah, I'd love to know.
Is it old? Do you know?
It looks newer than the oldest stuff in Allegheny Cemetery, but it's definitely.
I'll talk to him.
I think it's definitely been there for a while.
I'll talk to him. He knows everything about it.
Yeah, but I want to know like whose idea was it?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love the random stuff like that too.
And there's a lot of random stuff in Allegheny Cemetery.
My wife's uncle, he already got it done on his tombstone for whenever he dies. That on the back it's gonna say like, look in the mirror and say my name 3 times or whatever. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. Like, I love things so like that as well. It's like just something small like that. That's all you need. Mm-hmm. Now, are you someone that like, are you like a active Pittsburgher where you're like out doing all kinds of things? You like to go to all these events and like, are you like someone that's like doing all this?
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty social. I really love like dance nights. Like I like Strange Ways a lot. They do a lot of really great
What is
dance
Strange
nights.
Ways?
Strange Ways is their tagline is like better life through dancing, and they have different.
This is a place, Strange Ways?
No, well, so Strange Ways is a DJ group of DJs. I think there's one main guy who runs it, and then they have like different DJs that come in. But
where do they do this at?
They had been doing it at Belvedere's, but I think they just bought Mixtape in Bloomfield, which had closed during the pandemic, and now they own it, and they're doing a lot of events there.
What part of the city do you hail from?
So I live in Etna, but I feel like most of my social life interactions and whatnot are more like the East End, Bloomfield, Lawrenceville, East Liberty.
That's fair. I feel like Etna is like, I don't know. I feel like it's like, just a land of misfit toys over there.
Yeah. It's like,
you never know what you're going to get.
It's interesting because my neighborhood, it's like, there's like, Black Lives Matter signs and protect trans kids signs and all these like,
and then there's some
great
crazy
signs.
shit.
And then there's like houses with, F Biden signs, which like, I mean, whatever. I don't care about your like political affiliation.
Yeah, I get it
too badly, but
that's what I mean. It's
just like hateful messages. There's a Nazi flag on Etna.
Really?
Yeah, there's a house with a Nazi flag on it, and I think so.
Like a swastika?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And I think this guy apparently was keeping. And I don't know if this is good to keep in the podcast just because, I don't know who's listening to it. But do whatever you want. But the guy who has this flag, I guess he had a pet raccoon and the police came. And again, this is like the random shit about Pittsburgh that I love, like these stories. But so this guy has this Nazi flag, and he had a pet raccoon, and the police came and were like, you can't have a raccoon. So he called them Nazis and screamed at them. But then afterwards, he put a Nazi flag up. So the messaging here is very confusing. But
that sounds confusing.
Yeah, but yeah. So we go. There's a lot in Etna. Etna and Millvale. It's a fun area.
It's a fun area over there. It sounds fun. But you spend a lot of your time across the street.
Yeah, I do. I never personally. I love the city. Like, and I know. I mean, Etna is a Pittsburgh address, but it's technically not like Pittsburgh proper.
Yeah.
But I love. I love Bloomfield, and Bloomfield's my fave.
Bloomfield definitely got I never really spent a lot of time over there until like, I talked to Adam from Trace, and I talked to Pat over there, obviously, and some other people in like Lawrenceville. And, growing up, I didn't really know too much about the city. I stayed in my hometown, and I didn't really ever frequent down here. And then I moved to like Kraft and Ingram, and then that's kind of where I started to like see all the different stuff, go try all the different, food that's like, up and bustling.
Yeah.
Are you someone that, obviously as someone that runs this page, like, do you think that this makes you, what's the right word? Are you more educated on the good stuff in the city?
I feel like I get to see a lot of it just because I am like on social media a lot.
Yeah.
I don't drink, so I miss some of that. Like if something's like super alcohol centric, I'd kind of stay away from that. But I see a lot of stuff, and I try to kind of be like, lady about town and go do stuff that I think sounds fun. I just like supporting local businesses. Like,
oh yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to live in a lot of different neighborhoods. Like, let me think. Since I've lived in Pittsburgh, I've lived in Shadyside, Troy Hill. I lived in Baldwin for a minute. That was weird.
Yeah, Baldwin.
And now I live in Etna. I think that's been it. But
that's a good variety.
Yeah, it's kind of like all around.
Yeah, all around.
And yeah, I'd say the east side of the city is kind of my favorite. That's out of all the ones I've been on.
That's interesting to hear.
Yeah.
Now, are you were talking about like, staying authentic to this page and like, growing it as it is. It's like, are you someone that like is real conscious, being a social media person by day and a memer by night? Are you someone that like is pretty conscious of how often you're posting? Like, what I'm asking is like, do you like spend a lot of time like trying to make that page run as well as it can?
Yeah, I probably could do a little more like strategic planning that I haven't spent a whole lot of time thinking about it that way, like strategically.
When you came over here, I had no idea as far as like if you were like, oh yeah, I have like a dry erase board. I have posts planned out.
No, I think it's really just kind of like spur of the moment. Like I think of something funny, or I see something funny, or I see something that I think is important, and I kind of just post it. I have thought more about like trying to be a little more like community conscious, like as far as, promoting different like social justice things, or just like different community events that I think would be important, or promoting people who I think like people, businesses, etc. that I think deserve the space.
Hell yeah.
So I guess you were asking me about goals earlier. I guess that would be a big goal for the future. I think maybe just trying to be more strategic about putting stuff like that in with the funny stuff, because
informative stuff.
Yeah, because I think, some people who are following it just for the funny stuff don't necessarily always see the other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I also don't want it to be like serious, I don't want it to be so
like
serious.
too stuffy.
I don't want it to be stuffy and have people be like,
what's the demographic like on your Instagram analytics?
Well,
like,
I will
what are
tell
the
you,
ages?
it's pretty much, it's the
25
most followers,
to 34.
Yeah, the most people following it are our age, 25 to 34, like you said. And it's like 65% women.
Really?
Yeah, it's mostly women that follow my page.
Wow, that's interesting to hear. Maybe that's because I
don't do the sports.
Yeah, that's probably why. Which is, it's good. I feel like there has to be a spot. Obviously, there's, these other places that are doing all the sports shit, but, it gets lost. Not everyone wants to be, just all Steelers, Pirates. Like, we know Bob Nutting, we know about it. We know about the Steelers, we know about it. I want to hear about, do you like Isley's ham with ketchup? Is that real? Did you like that?
I've never had Isley's ham.
Never?
I don't think so. Wait, maybe I have.
Yeah, come on. Chipped ham? You never
I haven't had it recently.
Okay, that's fair. I saw a post that had an Isley's ham with Heinz ketchup. And this was a couple years ago, and you said this sounded appetizing to me. And I don't know if I know anyone that eats that, but I was curious if that was something. I never know. Like, after talking to you now, I realized that you weren't a kid that grew up eating Isley's.
No, I wasn't. I missed out on the people talk about Hills a lot. Like, people who grew up here talk about Hills and the popcorn smell, and it's like that's something I kind of missed out on. Although I feel like I had Kmart kind of did that where I
Kmart
live.
scratched
So
that
it's
itch,
like,
for sure.
you know, it's kind of similar.
Was Kmart like the only spot up by Ian's?
Oh my gosh, there's nothing. Like, yeah, Kmart, Walmart popped up later.
How far did you have to drive for a grocery store?
Like 15 minutes, which isn't like so, like, it's not like I grew up on the farm. Like,
Yeah, but it wasn't like, there was a mall right next door.
One thing, I feel very lucky in Pittsburgh to be able to like drive 5 minutes to a Target. Because that was, you had to, like, to get to a Target, you had to go over the mountain to State College. That's a big thing where I'm from, is people say, "Whoa, we're going over the mountain." Like, we're going over the mountain for like a fancy restaurant, you know, rather than like the 4 pizza places that are where I'm.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Are you a foodie?
Kind of. I feel like I'm not super picky. Like, I'll kind of eat whatever, but also when I find a place I like, I kind of
beat it to death.
Yeah.
What are you on now?
Thai food, Chinese food. I love.
From where?
Thai and China. Well, I love, and yeah, like, this is my not. So my boyfriend lives in Bloomfield, so I spend a lot of time in Bloomfield. But we get Thai cuisine, Thai gourmet a lot. We get a lot of Baby Loves Tacos. I know Zach. He's a friend, so shout out to him. He'd be a good person to talk to.
I've never had that yet. Baby Loves Tacos.
Oh, so good. It's great.
I never had that or any of the Thai places that you had.
The Thai places. There are pros and cons to both Thai places, I guess. One's only takeout and one's dine in. But
meaning you can't get takeout?
Oh no, you can get takeout,
okay.
but
the other one you can only get takeout.
Yeah, a lot of people will say Thai gourmet, which is the one that only does takeout, is superior. But I don't know. There are certain dishes I'll get at one and not get at the other. So it's like,
I straight up just stop. I just stop listening to people's opinions because I've been led astray numerous times.
Yeah.
Like most recently,
I think that's fair.
Chengdu Gourmet. You been there?
Yeah, I was just there the other day.
Everyone, I've heard so much shit about how it's like the fucking best. This dude's a James Beard nominee. And like, I went there and I was so underwhelmed, and it wasn't bad by any means.
Yeah, right.
I'm not saying it's bad.
But it was so built up.
Oh my God. Yeah. There's a million places that it tastes better, but it's like, that's the bad part about, like, people have a big thing with nostalgia, whether it be nostalgia from whenever they were 10 or nostalgia from, whenever they ate that meal a couple years ago that they just like beat to death.
Well, Chengdu Gourmet, I think people go crazy for the Szechuan stuff there, so I told you I didn't drink, but I'm in addiction recovery, and like, it's like a thing in the recovery community to like want to get like spiced up from the spices from the Szechuan. Yeah, so I have a lot of friends who really like to go there for that reason.
Do you get a head change whenever it's spicy?
You get a little bit of like a buzz from it.
Like adrenaline, when it's like, almost.
Yeah, it's like an adrenaline rush.
Endorphins
kind
and stuff.
Of, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Could I ask you about your sobriety?
Sure, go ahead.
How long have you been sober?
I've been sober almost 4.5 years now.
That's awesome.
So I think I told you early on I didn't drink. I was a good girl and didn't drink in high school, but then I kind of started. I made up for it in college, and then it got really bad. It got really bad for a couple years, but then, you
found the light.
Yeah,
that's good. Light. That's so interesting to hear that there's something spicing it up like that.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
That's crazy to hear about. That's interesting. Yeah, the restaurants are wild. Like, that's the worst part about it, is because there's so many people. You have 100 people that say like, this is the best, and then you have 100 people that are like, that's the best. But I just like try it all out.
Yeah,
I like trying things out.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything that what came of this Bottle Rocket event? Can you talk about this?
Yeah, I can talk about it. It's not too ironed out yet as far as details, but so we are planning on we're planning on doing it. So we're going to do a Pittsburgh Personified live show.
What does that mean?
So it's going to be a little bit like the Depths of Wikipedia show, where there's like, I'll be the host and we'll have different topics we talk about with a slideshow in the background. It's kind of, so we're planning it on being kind of a celebration of Pittsburgh. And we're going to do it on April 12th. So 412. I think, so like I said, I'll be hosting. We're going to have some comedians and lots of special guests.
Nice.
Secret special guests.
I love that. Is 412 the final date?
Yes. I think that's what we're planning on, and I think we have enough time to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say 100% set in stone.
Yeah, that's fine. Well,
but
how do people, is this something you're going to be promoting on the page?
Yeah, I will be, once we have the details more hammered out, I'll be putting it on the page. And if you give Bottle Rocket a follow, they'll also be, they'll probably be the ones who you buy tickets through.
Yeah.
But also, if you haven't been there, go check it out. It is like...
It's like your dad's best friend's basement.
Yes, it's like stepping into like a time... Like, it's like a Yinzer time machine.
It's actually very wild. It's like literally stepping into like one of your dad's best friend's like 80s style basements that his wife was like, yeah, you could have the whole downstairs. That's what I feel like whenever I walk in there.
Yeah, I love it.
It has that you could tell that there's some history in there.
Mm-hmm.
He said it used to be a social club, right?
Yeah, I guess it used to be. I mean, they didn't really change the interior.
It's the same thing.
He'd be great to have.
It's the same thing. Well, so this whole idea for this show, was this your idea or was this his?
No, he reached out to me about it after I did the Depths of Wikipedia thing, saying like he said we could do it kind of in the similar style. And at first I was a little bit like, well, I don't really have a performance background. I don't dislike being in front of people.
Well, that was my next question. That room holds like 120, I think. I assume it'll be sold out. And I mean, are you someone that is like, you know?
I like talking in front of people. I don't really get freaked out about it, but I say that. But then when I did Depths of Wikipedia, when I got up there, I was like, oh, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, I was a little bit concerned with, well, are we going to be able to, rehearse this? Is it going to be, or is it just going to be like, I get up there and wing it?
That's the best way to do it.
And it's kind of going to be like a little bit like having a PowerPoint. I guess we're going to be able to kind of pre-write some stuff, but also
talking points, basically.
Yeah, but I know I'm not going to be so, it's not going to be like, I go up and I'm trying to do stand-up comedy where nobody knows anything, know, like I have Pittsburgh, like Pittsburgh is literally the thing people are coming for. It's not me. So, I could go up there and literally just I could probably like run a slideshow of like, just like pictures of things people like in Pittsburgh and people would get excited about it.
For
now
sure.
That's definitely not going to be all it is. It's going to be way more fun than that. But, yeah, don't worry. It's not going to be me trying to do stand-up comedy.
That sounds exciting, though. Everyone likes a live event. Yeah,
I think it'll be fun. It's a Wednesday night, so it's like, I don't know, nice break up to your week.
Yeah, what else are you going to do on a Wednesday night?
Yeah, right. And, I mean, if nothing else, just come to check out Bottle Rocket because it's so cool.
Yeah, have a drink, hot dog or something there.
Yeah.
Are you someone that, like, while you're, like, obviously, that this event's happening right now. Mm-hmm. It's like you said that, it's not going to be like very like regimented, but are you trying to like put together like, a certain idea of what you're going to talk about? Yeah, I've been like kind of planning. Well, I've been meeting with Chris, who he's the owner, and we've kind of been talking about it. We're actually meeting again tomorrow to go over some more of the details. So I think we're going to be meeting like once a week until then to kind of hammer out some things. But I've been kind of, taking notes and like planning things that I think will be funny and things that I think we should include. And we've been reaching out to people who are going to be guests. And so I think we'll be able to put together a pretty fun show for everybody. Yeah, that sounds like a good time. Uh-huh. Now, I mean, I already asked you what your goals of the page were. Do you think there's anything I missed as far as talking about the page or what you do? Gosh. Why don't you have any merch? Oh, that's something people ask me that all the time. I really should do merch. I guess it's just been a thing of like planning out the logistics. And now that you're asking me, I think that's going to put a fire under my butt to get it. Yeah, it'd be dumb not to. That gives you a way to not have to like, objectify your page. Yeah, I guess because I think I have what, typical millennial woman with imposter syndrome. Like I'm still with this idea of like, oh, nobody's going to want to buy anything I put out, Yeah. But, which, I mean, I guess that's not true since people are asking me about it, but I should really get some for this event. Yeah. You should get that going. Yeah. I know there's actually like a place in Etna that
Etna Print Circus. They make great T-shirts. I should reach out to them.
Reach out to him. Get it going. That's all. Now, just got to see it through now, because that'll be a good thing for the show. Just make that, put that on your priority list. Everyone likes merch, you know. Just put something out there.
Yeah.
A little bit of change in your pocket.
Yeah. Very true.
Now, are you ready for the ending segment of the podcast?
Sure.
Okay. I do an ending segment with everyone. It's called Desert Island Questions.
Okay.
Okay. Desert Island Questions. Whenever I give each guest 3 categories to take with them on a desert island and use until they starve to death and die.
Oh, okay.
First category, 3 movies to take with you.
Oh, all right. Apocalypse Now.
Wow.
Midsummer.
Wow.
And
Very depressing time on the island.
this one's not going to be a popular one, but Tropic Thunder.
It's all right. It's wild to think that was made at some point. It's wild to think that any of those movies were made back then.
I know. It's not one that could be, like, they definitely couldn't make it now, but it's one that was one of the, like, when I first saw that in theater, it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It would be crazy for people to think that, to say that it wasn't hilarious. Now people would probably be afraid to say, like, that's not funny at all. Back then it was hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like American Pie. If you think about that came out in like 2006, American Wedding, I think. You couldn't make them now, really, with the verbiage that they use and everything, but...
Yeah,
you know,
I'm sure there are other ones I'll think of after we end here that I'm like, oh, I should have said
why,
that.
I have to ask you, why Apocalypse Now?
I love that movie so much. I love...
yeah, like what? Like this? Like the cinematography?
Yeah, I love the cinematography. I love that it's... So I love the like descent into madness.
Yeah.
I love that it's like a war movie, but it's also not a war movie because it's just about this guy like going crazy.
I only saw this for the first time 2 years ago.
Did you watch the Redux version or the original version?
I don't know. I watched it.
Did you watch the one that was like 4.5 hours? Or the one that, okay.
Yeah, anyway, definitely not.
Yeah, no, the Redux version's like 4.5 hours long. But
crazy.
Yeah, but also there's just like the story behind how it was made is insane. Did you ever watch there's a documentary about it?
Yeah, Marlon Brando's a lunatic.
Yes, yeah. And just like how much money was sunk into it. And
he came on set all fat, and they were like, "Yo, you're supposed to be skinny," and he's like, "Just put me in the shadows, brother."
And he didn't even read the book. Yeah. And then there was a hurricane, and then Martin Sheen had a heart attack, and it's just all this wild stuff.
It's so weird because during COVID, I was like, I'm going to just watch all these movies that I've never seen that I should watch, and I watched Platoon and Apocalypse Now on the same day, and it was so weird because, like, I don't know, Platoon got Charlie Sheen in it, and I don't know, it's strange. But
there's a book called The Sympathizer, which it was like one of the best books a couple years ago, and it's a really good book. It felt a little bit like Catch-22 to me, but it was kind of about, it was this guy who was like a mediary almost between the Vietnamese and the American side.
Oh, wow.
But it's kind of tongue in cheek, and there's like a filming of a movie about the Vietnam War in it, which is supposed to be like loosely Apocalypse Now or Platoon. And there's a character in it who was supposed to be an actor for this like glass cleaner, and it was called Sheen, like Sheen with an exclamation point. I just thought that was so funny because both Sheens are in the Vietnam movies.
Yeah, weird. That's what was so weird about it. One of them was the dad, and it just kind of tripped me out. Now, the second movie you picked,
Midsummer.
Now, what? I mean, like, you could watch that over and over again. You think?
Oh, I have.
What about it do you love?
I love horror. I love horror movies. And I love that one specifically because like I'd never seen a horror movie like that before.
Yeah, it's very wild.
I mean, I love Ari Aster, and I'm really excited for his next movie.
He's a wild animal.
Yeah, he must really have some bad repressed family trauma.
I don't think it is at all. I think he's a big nerd.
Really?
100%. Like in The Witch. Talking about like that horror compendium, like that kid that I did the horror compendium with. I've never met a person in my life that is a bigger movie person. Like I'm telling you, this dude got like multiple thousands of 4K movies, and he watches like 4 movies a day, just a nut. But he we did this and we talked about all this and how wild Ari Aster was. He found like the only person left in existence that does like the roofing that they did on the witch, like back in like, you know, the old Dutch times. It's just wild. Like the accuracy of stuff. He doesn't really seem to be like a creepy.
Oh no, I don't. I just think because Ari Aster did Hereditary and Midsommar, and both themes of those, it's like generational trauma.
That's fair.
So, I just feel like maybe he's like something is seeping through into his art, about generational trauma.
That's interesting. Did you hear that Hereditary was not even supposed to be a horror movie?
Really?
It was
I didn't know that.
supposed to just be like a family drama. Can you imagine how weird that would have been?
No, I can't imagine. I love an A24 person catching on fire.
Yeah.
Like that is like.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
That's something in every single A24 horror movie that, they got to burn someone.
Yeah.
And that was a good one.
That was a good one. Hereditary, wild movie. Probably the scariest movie I've ever seen. I think so. What's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Can I give you a classic and then modern?
Yeah, I would love it.
Okay, I think the scariest classic one is Texas Chainsaw. I think that one's like terrifying. Just the fact there's no soundtrack.
Yeah, it's weird.
Makes that so scary.
Very eerie.
Yeah. And then I think the scariest modern one that I've ever seen was Sinister.
Sinister? Mm-hmm. I feel like I watched it whenever it came out for midnight, but I don't think I revisited it. I'm going to have to.
I think the reason I saw that one in theater and
is that the one with Darth Maul?
No, Sinister.
Like the guy. I'm not saying actual Darth Maul, but that red guy that's behind you.
That's Insidious.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sinister's the one with. Sorry, I thought you were thinking it was a Star Wars movie. No. This is the one. Ethan Hawke's in it. It's like creepy kid stuff.
I don't know.
He's an author. He moves into this house where a family was murdered. There's a lot of it's like murder on Super 8 footage. And I still sometimes so there's like a monster in that named Mr. Boogie.
Don't even tell me about it because I'll watch it.
But I still think of that one sometimes when I can't sleep and I'll look into the dark and think, oh my gosh, Mr. Boogie's out there.
Yeah. That's good though. Are you a reader?
I love to read.
Okay, second category is 3 books to take.
This one's going to be hard.
That's all right. I'll cut out any downtime if you want to think for a minute.
Okay. So I'm a big fan of the unhinged woman genre. That it's kind of big right now, especially on Book Talk. If you follow Book Talk,
I don't follow that. But are you talking about like Gone Girl type of?
No, this is more like not just like completely. It's like millennial women just kind of like doing weird things. Like there's a probably the most popular book, and this isn't one I would take on the desert island, but it's called My Year of Rest and Relaxation, and it's by Otessa Moshfegh, and it's based. This woman is like depressed, and she just decides she's going to sleep for a whole year as like an art project, and I don't know. There's like a whole like 9/11 plot in it, and
I like stuff
there's
like that.
Drug use, and it's just weird.
Sounds interesting.
And I really love books like that. And I'm trying. My favorite unhinged woman book that I read. It's one called Boy Parts. I read it this summer at the beach. I can't remember the name of the author, but it was wild. It was like the.
You like wild shit to read?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I love wild shit. Just like weird stuff that you don't really see that often, but this one was, so it was kind of like American Psycho meets this other book, My Year of Rest and Relaxation, but it's like if those two books had a baby.
Oh, wow.
And it was so good. I haven't reread it, but I
read a fat chunk of American Psycho.
That book's wild.
Yeah, wild one.
It's like way more wild than the movie.
A million times wild.
I think I almost threw up when I read that book a couple times.
It's pretty wild.
It's gross.
I was reading it in high school for something, and I was like, I probably can't do this.
Yeah, Bret Easton Ellis just put out a new book. I bought it. I didn't read it yet, but
that's me. I buy a million books and I just don't read them.
I have that same problem.
I need to read more.
Reading's my favorite thing to do.
Well, what are the 3 you said?
Oh, the 3 books. Okay, so Boy Parts. Boy Parts. There's another one of my most favorite books ever. It's called White Oleander by Janet Fitch. It was like it came out in the 90s, but it's also kind of like an unhinged woman.
Was that
narrative.
a movie too?
Yeah, it was also a movie.
Okay.
The movie wasn't nearly as good as the book, but
never
Renee
is.
Zellweger was in it.
Oh.
And then
What about like if you were a young person? You know, like what was like your first, like were you like a Twilight person? Were you Harry Potter?
I was a Harry Potter person.
Love it.
Yeah, Harry Potter. I think if I'm going, I don't know if I'd take Harry Potter with me though. I think my other favorite, and this is, I don't know why I like war satire, but Catch-22, I think would be my third.
I like weird, like, you know, violent shit, Lord of the Flies, Hunger Games, stuff like that.
I think it's because ultimately Catch-22 and Apocalypse Now, I think they're ultimately pretty anti-war.
Yeah.
And Catch-22 is one where it's very serious, but also funny at the same time. Like there's a lot of just like nonsensical stuff in that book. That's like the one guy's name is Major. It's like, that's so funny. I don't know. I love it. But yeah, so okay. My three books are Boy Parts, White Oleander, Catch-22.
Okay. Those are good. Okay. Third category is 3 CDs to take.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is hard.
Were you an emo person? Scene?
I was more of like when I was in high school, I like wanted to be a Manic Pixie Dream Girl.
Oh, okay.
That was kind of my thing. Like I loved Garden State. Let me think. Gosh, this is so hard. Especially because I'm kind of just like thinking about what I'm listening to now. Like I saw Big Thief last night.
Big Thief.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of them lately.
I don't know if I've ever heard of them.
Kind of like alternative. Can we skip this one? I don't think I can choose 3.
I made Sally Wiggin answer this question.
Okay. If Sally Wiggin can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what's the Led Zeppelin album that Trampled Underfoot is on?
I might
Physical Graffiti.
Yeah. I was
That's
gonna say
it.
it's over there.
I'll take that one.
Okay.
That one's coming. I want to take something by Neil Young, but I don't know which one.
That's a good one too.
Whichever one.
I'll give you greatest hits.
Okay. I'll take Neil Young's greatest hits.
It's fair.
Let's go with, you know what? Since I saw them last night, I'll just go with Big Thief's album. I think it's called Paul.
Okay.
The song Paul is on it.
That's good. That's a good answer.
If you ask me next week, I'd probably choose something else. But
Everyone does.
sorry, that took a while.
That's all right. Third to last question is the death row meal.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, you get an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert.
My appetizer, steamed pork buns. My main course, which doesn't go with steamed pork buns at all, but it's what I want, is my grandma's spaghetti, specifically hers, nobody else's.
Okay.
And my dessert, tiramisu from Whole Foods.
It's good stuff. Tiramisu, they got good they got good tiramisu?
The best tiramisu.
Really?
It's so good.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
I know.
The best dessert I've ever had was from Gaijin, and it was a matcha tiramisu. Oh, and I don't even really like matcha. It was the best thing I've ever had.
I had a matcha one. I went to France this past summer.
Oh, it was
this
probably way
September,
better.
and I went to a sushi place in France, and
Yeah,
they
this
had
was a
matcha
sushi
tiramisu
place.
that was so good.
Gaijin was a sushi place down in the city, and if you're a big sushi person, you should go check that out.
Yeah. Oh, can I say one thing about when I was in? It's Pittsburgh related.
Please.
And, if you need to cut it, whatever. But
That's all right.
There's this. So I think it's crazy that how everywhere Pittsburgh is.
Yeah, there's a bar in Rome.
Yeah. Well, I took a solo trip to France by myself in September, and I fly like 8 hours or whatever, and I get to Paris, and I like haven't slept for like 12 hours, and I get to my Airbnb, and this group of women is walking down the stairs where my apartment is for my Airbnb, and the one woman, they're British, so they're speaking English, and she has a Steelers jacket on.
No way.
And I'm like, oh my God, I can't escape. Like, I can't escape.
Did you say what's up to her?
Yeah, I actually did a post on my page. I was like, can I please take your picture? Like, I can't. I'm from Pittsburgh. I can't believe this is the first thing I'm seeing when I get to Paris. Like, it was literally the first thing I saw.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I don't have anything across the country, but we drove like 15 hours of the Outer Banks. It was dark out, and we were just walking on the beach. There's no people at the Outer Banks ever. And the only people on miles of this beach, you just see this light coming down. Mm-hmm. And, I'm a nice guy. I said, hey, how Ian's doing? Or I said, like where Ian's from. And he said, the same place you're from. And ended up being from I swear he's from McKees Rocks.
And he knew because you said Yins.
Yins. I swear. And it was just like, this is weird.
I've noticed I've started saying things like get at and stuff like as a joke, but it's like starting to stick.
See, I'm not like a Don, I don't do that. But Yins is ingrained in my life. People always say that I'm a terrible Yinzer. Well, I guess I'm a good Yinzer, but I talk like a Yinzer. Mm-hmm. It's terrible.
Did you grew up here?
Oh yeah. Oh. Right in McKeesport.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, born and bred. Okay, second to last question is second to last question. If you're going on a road trip, if you're going to Paris again and you're going to a gas station to get a snack, what's the snack that you choose from a gas station?
Is it like a Sheetz, like where I can order stuff, or is it just like pull something off the...
Something from a convenience store, not an MTO.
Okay. Peanut M&Ms.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people pick those.
Really?
Yeah, not a lot.
I love them.
People pick weird shit on here, but...
Really?
Oh, yeah, last week was a whatchamacallit. You ever have one of those?
I've never heard of that.
A whatchamacallit, I've heard of it a bunch. I've just never had one. It's like a candy bar that's been sitting there. It's like a zero bar. Yeah. You've always seen them, but you never have them. Weird stuff. Okay, last question. If you could have a conversation with anyone alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Alive or dead?
If you could pick someone that you're not, related to. I feel like it's an obvious. Mm-hmm. I know you want to sit down with Marlon Brando. Talk to him.
Oh, yeah, that'd be funny. Marlon Brando. There's a part in that documentary where he goes, I've swallowed a bug. Because a fly just flies right in his mouth.
What a weird guy.
I know. I think I'd really want to talk to not someone specific, but I'd want to talk to somebody who lived in the dark ages and, was just like a peasant, a peasant woman. And
that's a great answer.
I just want to know what their story was. Cause I feel like we don't hear those,
that's
we just hear about the people who...
Yeah, Obama. Someone picked Obama a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I just know about Obama. Mm-hmm. Want to know about a peasant. Someone else picked a caveman. And I was like, that's such a good answer.
That's a good one.
Ain't that a good answer?
Yeah.
You ever seen Encino Man?
No.
Oh, you should watch it.
Okay.
It's Brendan Fraser, Pauly Shore, and Sean Austin.
Oh,
it's a
that
90s treasure. Brendan Fraser is a caveman that comes back, and Pauly Shore and Sean Austin are his handlers. Mm-hmm. Everyone loves Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's all I got for you. I appreciate you coming over to talk to me about what you do.
Yeah, this has been so
great. Please take a second and tell everyone where they could find, your Instagram page. Promote anything you'd like to promote.
Sure. So Pittsburgh Personified is on Instagram. You can find it at Pittsburgh Personified.
Do you have any other social medias for that?
I have my personal one. It's
I mean like a Pittsburgh you don't have like a Pittsburgh Personified TikTok or anything?
No, well, I have a TikTok. There's 3 videos on it.
Yeah.
That I've done, but that one
it's a whole nother thing to get into.
Yeah, that's a whole other beast. I've done a couple TikTok. It's props to people who are TikTokers because that stuff that's time consuming.
Overwhelming.
But yeah, no, I had a Pittsburgh Personified Facebook for a while, but I kind of just stuck to Instagram.
It's a pit on there. You don't want to be on there.
Yeah, no. But I have a personal Instagram. It's Marla_banana. And that's my Instagram and Twitter if you'd want to follow me there. Aside from that, just keep an eye out on the Pittsburgh Personified page and the Bottle Rocket page for stuff about this live show. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Everyone else that's listening, appreciate it as usual. Each and every week, back with another guest doing great things in the city. Thank you for listening. Call you right back.